what a grey but very still and lovely day today. The crows are squawking, the birds are singing, and I've got a very, very light rain splatter on my face, which is quite lovely. We're in the middle of February and I'm going to take a short stroll across these woodlands and see and see what we can find in the middle of winter. Well, actually, inbox past now, so we're actually in between the point of winter and spring. So spring is nigh. There's lots of buds shooting up on the trees and some sprouts coming through the ground. So I'm just going to have a little wander and see what we can find today. So we've had some big storms lately. I'm sure you're aware there's been storms across the whole of the UK, but it's brought down quite a few trees in this little woodland here. And you might notice that they're all quite thin trees that are covered in ivy. So the ivy kind of acts as a bit of a sail and it makes them bend a little bit too much in the high winds, and that's how they snap off. There's quite a few of them down here. Can you spy that patch of bright orange behind me? Let's go and see if they are still good. Absolutely perfect. Look at those. And then some more pinning just here. And as we come round, loads of jelly ears. That's a good little find. Might harvest these ones. They look pretty damn prime, don't they? If you don't know what velvet shanks are, if you'd like to learn more, my January fungi video goes into a lot more detail. But these are delicious edible mushroom that I'm definitely going to be harvesting for my little project in May. So these are gorgeous. They are super fresh. The stem hasn't even started to blacken yet, which means that they'll still be pretty tender. Usually the stems can be a little bit tough and fibrous, but these are going to be gorgeous. Just going to get a few of these jelly ears, I reckon, as well. Oh my god, round here's even better. Let me show you. It's a lovely patch of jelly ears here. And again, these are in my January fungi video, so if you'd like to learn more about these guys, how good they are for you, what you can do with them, where you can find them, then you can watch that. I'll link it above and in my description. So it was a full moon last night, and I think that push of energy has really helped these mushrooms plump up because they are looking gorgeous at the moment. If you'd like to learn more about moon phases and how they can affect plants and fungi, then take a look at my recent biodynamic gardening video. So you can see how gorgeous and plump these are. I'll be going into a lot more about moon phases because, yeah, it's a really great time to harvest lots of crops the days over a full moon. So yeah, gorgeous, aren't they? Get these in the bag. So I took this little cluster here, and you can see that there are loads more pins coming up here, 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 and more up the top as well. What a beautiful tree. Thank you very much, tree. I've done a classic Danny manoeuvre, and I've dropped my fucking receiver for my microphone. My microphone thing only works in 2 parts. You need a receiver that plugs into your camera or your phone, and then the microphone part. And I've dropped the receiver, which is like the important bit, because I've got 2 of those microphone boxes but only 1 receiver. So I'm just trying to trace my steps to see if I can figure out where the hell I've dropped it. Danny. All of the bluebells are coming through, look. And I absolutely love how they just pierce through the leaves. They've got such force to them. Really beautiful. Sorry, tree. Loads and loads of tacky tail on this fallen log, look. It's beautiful, isn't it? If you would like to learn more about tacky tail, then that is in my February fungi video. Yeah, I'll just link you to those because there's no point me going into too much detail. I literally covered it just a couple of weeks ago, so I'll link the February fungi video and the January fungi video. All of these mushrooms are still available to find even up till March, and even longer for lots of them, many throughout the whole year. So I'll link that above and in the description if you'd like to check it out. Let's go look for this microphone receiver. This plant down here is Alexander's, and this is a coastal plant. You don't tend to find it inland too much. I'm here in Sheffield and it's not a plant that I come across regularly at all, but all parts of this are edible, from the flowers to the buds and the stems and the leaves and the roots and even the seeds as well. So it's a plant that you can harvest pretty much all year round. It is likened to celery quite often. You can chop off these stems and peel them, it's quite similar to celery, to get off all these little stringy bits, and if you chop up the stem you'll find that it's hollow inside, and this is a really good indicating feature of Alexander's. But the leaves, you do have to be quite careful because they can look a little bit similar to hemlock water dropwort, which is a plant you don't want to get it confused with. I do feature Alexander's in my book, and I go through all of the different identification features and how you can tell it apart from any toxic lookalikes, and all of the uses as well. Oh my god, is that it? Oh, yes. God, that's a relief. Well, would you look at that? The first tree that I've seen in blossom. And you always know what the tree is when it's the very, very first one in blossom. It is the beautiful, beautiful cherry plum tree. It's the first one that you'll see in the meadows. It's absolutely beautiful. There you go. Yeah, it's got a beautiful almond scented blossom. These 5 petals with these long stamens. Yeah, it's really delicious. You can infuse this into sugar or any sort of drinks, and it makes really, really lovely syrup as well. Absolutely beautiful. I might eat one now actually. Legend has it that the 12th to the 14th of February don't actually belong in February at all. They're said to have been borrowed from January, but the deal was that January wanted them to be wild and stormy. So if they were like this, pretty grim, then it meant that the February had paid off its fair share of bad weather, and it meant that the rest of the year would be mild and pleasant. But if these days were sunny, then February hadn't paid its hardship, and it meant that the rest of the year would have to suffer for it. So luckily, it has just started to rain here today, so fingers crossed for fine weather for the rest of the year. Can you see all those scarlet elf cups down there? Once you see one, you start to see loads. I'm going to collect a few of these actually. And so down here amongst all of the scarlet elf cups, can you see these? They're little cleaver seedlings. Proper cute. And look at this one, absolutely full to the brim with rain. And then those two little bloody cuties down there as well. And there's still so more on the floor everywhere. Can you see all the little red jaws? I've just walked down the hill and can you see all of those as well? Just standing proud. Loads of them this time of year. Please excuse if you can hear any kids screaming, I'm right next to a school, but I just wanted to show you this shrub. Hang on, let me spin you around. So this here is crampbark or viburnum, and you can see that it's lost all of its leaves now. It's a deciduous shrub. I harvest the bark from this every few months, not this particular shrub, but from the viburnum or the crampbark, because as the name suggests, it is an excellent antispasmodic. It helps to relieve cramps. Lots of the compounds are concentrated in the bark, so what you do is you snip off or you prune some branches, or you wait until a storm, cut off some of or just peel off, strip off with a knife the bark. When it's young like this, I just use like a potato peeler, but when they're a little bit thicker, you can just use a regular knife, and you just carve off the bark and let that dry, and then crush it up, and then you can use it to make teas and tinctures, although I don't really recommend teas because it's absolutely disgusting. It's got the most bitter taste. It's a lot more palatable when you make a tincture with it. But these are the berries. The berries are edible as well. They don't smell very nice. They smell really, really musty. But they can be made into jams and jellies as well, but these are all fully dried now, and it's the bark that I'm wanting at the moment. So what I would do is I would just prune this, and I would just, as a gardener, I can kind of tell which branches could do with a pruning. So you'd go in and you would prune off any branches that are kind of overlapping and rubbing. Can you see how this one is rubbing and overlapping on the other? Hang on. Might be better to show you here. That is waiting for disease and infection to come through. Can you see how it's rubbing on the bark? And once that gets kind of like scratched and opened up, it's a lot more easier for infection to come in. And likewise, if we come round here as well, we can see how this one in here, it's kind of overlapping, and I would take that one out as well. I haven't got my pruners with me today. I wasn't actually planning on harvesting any crampbark today. I've still got a little bit of my tincture left, but when I come back I will be pruning off those branches, and that will just open up the shrub a little bit more, give the branches a lot more room, and I can harvest some medicine as well. So as I said, crampbark helps to relieve tension and relax the muscles, specifically the smooth muscle tissue that lines the uterus. So it's especially effective for conditions like endometriosis, but it's great for helping muscle cramps around your period, or any kind of like muscle tension in your stomach really. I use it most months in a little tincture, so one day I'll show you how to make that, but it's pretty simple. If you know how to make a tincture, just harvest your crampbark, shave off the outside bark, dry that up, add it to your alcohol and make your regular tincture. So it is really effective. So if you do struggle with period pain or endometriosis, then do give crampbark a try. There's always a really fine line between poison and medicine, isn't there? And snowdrops are a really great example of that. All parts of the snowdrop are toxic, especially the bulbs. So you mustn't get them confused if you're foraging for wild garlic, because the little tiny leaves can look quite similar. But these contain a compound called galantamine, and it's been used to treat migraines and neuralgia, and it's also used to treat Alzheimer's as well. Apparently it's quite effective for Alzheimer's to help the symptoms, not to cure it, but yeah, to help manage the symptoms of Alzheimer's. And actually it was discovered because somebody went to Bulgaria, I think it was, and they saw some of the farmers rubbing their foreheads with the leaves and bulbs of snowdrops, and when they asked them about it, it said it helped to cure headaches. So yeah, when they researched it, they realised it was great for nerve pain, and then they've made medicine out of it, and now it's used to treat Alzheimer's. Really great little plant, and how pretty is it? Very unexpected. Mine are all dirty now because of the ducks. We're back in my allotment now, and I'll show you what I've got. Show you what I harvested today. Try not to step on all the spring bulbs that are coming through now, and my lemon balm as well. But hey Domino, hey mate. So I've got my jelly ears and my scarlet elf cups in here. I don't know why you're getting all excited. You're not going to want this. Can you please be quiet, duckies? I apologise for these. They have no respect for my filming. Do you guys? You don't want these, so please get your little beaks away from them. So down here I've got some lovely velvet shanks, some scarlet elf cups and some jelly ear as well. And these are actually all going to be preserved for the Wild Biome project that I'm taking part in May. So the Wild Biome project is like a social science experiment really, to discover the effects on wild food, on the microbiome, on the gut microbiome. It's led by a woman who is called Mo Wild, and she wrote The Wilderness Cure, which is a book about her journey of eating solely wild food for a whole year. It's a really good book, you should check it out if you haven't already. But last year around 30 foragers took part, and they had some pretty incredible results. So they've done another project this year called the Wild Biome 2, and there's around 100 of us taking part. And yeah, we have to live solely off wild food for either 3 months or a month. And that means collecting everything, you know, making flours and getting our fats and our proteins and our carbohydrates and getting everything from the wild. So yeah, it's been really exciting. I've been collecting quite a lot of food over the past few months. So I've got all of spring to gather my greens because I'm taking part in May. So I think on that side of things is going to be alright, and I'm just making sure I've got enough kind of like bulk things for my broths and my soup. So that's my focus at the moment, and I'm going to be harvesting lots of root crops as well over the next month or so. But yeah, I'm really excited. We have to raise around £680 each for all of our tests. So I'm going to be putting up a fundraiser link. I don't know if I'll have it ready by the time this video is out, but if I do, I'll link it in the description. If you're interested in supporting and finding a little bit more about the Wild Biome project, I will be posting quite a few more videos about all of the food that I'm preparing and what I'm doing with it. And I'll probably be doing a vlog over the month as well, just to see how I'm doing and what I'm getting up to. But yeah, I've got lots of things planned for April and May actually, so I've got lots of trips that I'm going away for, so hopefully I can gather a lot more food when I'm away. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to go home now and get all of these in the dehydrator. I might pick all the scarlet elf cups, but yeah, I will be documenting the process of preserving and gathering all of the food for the project. So if you're interested, then do subscribe and stay tuned.